Hi Pisces, welcome to Yellow Cardinal Tarot with me. My name is Carole and this is going to be a general reading for you for April 2026. If you're new to my channel, I want to welcome you and please comment below and let me know if the video resonated with you. And if you're coming back for, another time, you've been following me for a while, I want to thank you for your support. And I'm hoping that more people subscribe so that we can get this channel out to more people. It's a young channel and it's a healing channel, right? It's about working through your shadow. I myself am a survivor of sexual abuse and trafficking in my own family. So I've been on my own healing journey for 9 years this April, actually. And it's to heal my complex trauma. And it's been an intense and very incredible journey that I've been on. And, this channel is all about healing it, and that's why this channel started, was out of my own healing that I've been doing. And so if you have been following me for a while, you will know that I have a website called carolecares.com, and on that website I have listed my personal readings that I do for Yellow Cardinal Tarot. And I also am a shamanic healer, so if you're interested in a shamanic healing, finding out about shamanism, I offer a free 15-minute consultation for you, and you can find that on my website. And yeah, we can just talk over Zoom and see if we're a good fit for each other if you're interested in healing. But today you're here because you want to know your reading. You want to hear your reading, so we're going to get right into it. April is very much a very powerful month energetically. We have this full moon on April 2nd in Libra. And then on the 17th, we have 9 orbiting bodies. And I think 7 of them are planets that are going to be in Aries. So with this new moon and fire horse energy, April is very much a month where you can take that next step and do what you want to do, because you have all these energies behind you right now that are there cheering you on. And Aries energy is all about I am, like this is me. And so you're being asked sometimes to take a risk and, and to be brave and to step out and show the world who you are. But when we get to this point of, we can prepare for it, whether it's something that has to do with your career or relationship or your health, or maybe, moving physically or spiritually, we can do all the preparation for it. And then when it finally comes, we kind of get stuck or blocked, or there's this huge resistance in our system where we can't understand, what's going on here. And so this is what happens when we take a next step for ourselves in our own personal healing journey, is there's always something to heal first before we can get that clarity. And so I'm going to start off with the Ehrenberg Tarot, and we're going to look at what's your next step. So let's ask the tarot right now. Oh, that one wanted to come out. You have the 9 of Pentacles in reverse. So that's your next step. And then we're going to look at what's blocking you from moving forward. I talked about, maybe you're feeling stuck. Maybe you're feeling the resistance, So there's something that's blocking you. So what's blocking you here from taking this step? One card, please, for Pisces. You have the Ace of Swords in reverse. And then right here, I want to ask, what do you need to heal? Because there's obviously a resistance, there's a block here, and that has come up because of what needs healing, right? It's the healing, it's the shadow, it's your unconscious that has brought this up for you to look at and to heal, because there's something that's preventing you from taking this next step. So what is it that needs healing right now? One step, one card for Pisces. The Death card. The Death card. And finally, advice from the tarot. So you know, I don't always give you the magic pill, neither will the tarot, because your answers are all within you. And I never wanted to hear that, actually, but it's true. I found out more and more as I heal that all my answers are in me, even though we tend to look for others to give us our answers. So the tarot is going to give you some guidance right here. It's because, you know, you have something to heal, and sometimes it can be overwhelming. So the tarot will say, okay, let's focus on this right now. And then that's when I'll come in and I'll offer you a playlist, usually from my other channel called Carole Cares, another YouTube channel I have. And it'll be something that will help you with this focus that the tarot points out that, you know, you need to take on. So let's have this advice from the tarot. One card. Those came out nicely. You have the High Priestess. So I'm going to turn to the tarot of A.E. Waite, and I'm going to clarify this Nine of Pentacles. Now, I shuffled these before I came on, so I always do. A couple cards for the Nine of Pentacles. One more. You have the Justice card in reverse and the Seven of Cups in reverse. And those two cards are going to be clarifying that Nine of Pentacles. Those are what's your next step. What's blocking you from moving forward? Ace of Swords. I need a couple cards here. Couple clarifiers for this Ace of Swords in reverse for Pisces. And one more. You have the Nine of Swords in reverse and the Queen of Swords in reverse. So 3 Swords card. Swords are all about your mental thoughts, your opinions, your thoughts. The Death card. Couple clarifiers for that. This is what you need to heal. I'm interested in what's going to come out here. There's one more. Okay, so you have it in an upright position. You have the Six of Pentacles, and then sideways you have the Knight of Cups. High Priestess. And a couple cards for that. Clarify. Okay, so you have the Two of Pentacles sideways and the Strength card. Major Arcana cards you have. So you have the Justice here, the Death card, the High Priestess, and the Strength card. So you have some big energies here for you this month that are here to help you with all this other Aries and Fire Horse energy that's you know, almost like pushing you a bit, you know, nudging you like you can do this next step. So you start off the Nine of Pentacles for what's your next step. And the Nine of Pentacles, in an upright, this is in reverse, but in an upright position, the Nine of Pentacles talks about self-awareness, like what matters to you most, what's worth focusing on. And so it's interesting that you have the Seven of Cups that's sitting right underneath that, because we'll talk about that in a minute, but I think what you really need is to make a decision. It's like what, and that's what it's asking you, like, you know, what matters in your life to you? What really matters right now? What's worth focusing on? Often people say that this is a card of, can be success, but I like to see it as a card of becoming more self-aware. And the universe is really pushing you and asking you, you know, let's bring some real self-awareness to this. And I did say, it was interesting, I did say at the beginning that oftentimes we look to other people to try to find our answers, but it's like, no, it's time for you to really sit with this and decide, you know, what is really What matters to you in life? And this has to do with the decision that you have to make. And that's really important to decide. And sometimes we can sit there and go, I don't know. I don't know what matters to me. And it's in reverse, because I think there's a fear. Sometimes there can be a fear of like really going inwards and trying to figure that out. Maybe because sometimes, we're thinking, well, what if I find out what matters to me, but it's not going to happen? Or maybe, sometimes there's a real resistance. There's a real resistance to looking at this. And I think that's what it is for some reason, because I think it has to do with what your next step is, which you probably know, but you don't want to look at what matters to you most, because if you identify that, then that means, well, maybe, you might have to do this next step, whatever it is. And so right underneath it is the Justice card that is in reverse. And that's a big card. Let's look at that in an upright position, because the Justice card talks really about, he has the balance over here in his hand, first of all. So we're asking, things are out of balance here for sure, because it's in reverse, right? So there's some real balance that's needed here in your situation. And then you have this sword that's really important. Like these two items that are sitting here that the Justice card's holding on to, that one sword by itself talks about authenticity. It talks about the truth, bringing the truth to the matter. And this is why you're being asked this. It's like, what really matters to you? Let's get real here. Let's get to the truth of everything that maybe you've been pushing down or denying or resisting looking at. We can sit in denial for a long time because denial prevents us from looking at it, right? And I can see that because I talked about this cups, the Seven of Cups in reverse here. Seven of Cups in an upright position talks about this individual that is trying to figure out what cup to choose, right? It's all about making a decision. And they all look so enticing to him. And he's looking at this. I guess it could be a her too, this individual. I don't know. But and they're looking at these cups, and they just can't seem to. It's really cloudy. Look at these clouds. They're just really indecisive. And this card to me is a card of dissociation. It's when you have been pulled out of your body from your ego self, so you can't feel, and you're put up in your head, and the ego will get you spinning on things over and over. It's got to a point where it's in reverse because you don't even realize how dissociated you have become, because you want to stay in denial, right? You don't want to look at what matters. And that's where the self-awareness comes in. It's like, what do you want? How much longer do you want to stay in this? Do you want to keep staying in this situation? If I think about if it's a relationship or if it's your career, there's something here that you need to move on from. I see the Death card over here coming, and that's about moving on, letting go. But that's coming from your shadow, so we're looking at that in a minute. But yeah, so there's definitely an ending that's needed. There's a letting go that needs to happen, which kind of makes sense why there are Death cards over here. But you are deciding on, nope, I'm up in my head. I don't want to feel. I don't want to think about this. I want to remain in denial. And this is the month where the universe is going, no, it's time now. It's time for you to step out for you. And so what's blocking you from moving forward? What's blocking you here? Well, the Ace of Swords is coming here in an upright or in a reverse position. I talked about the sword in the Justice, right? It's the same sword. It's the sword of authenticity. It's the sword of who you are. Well, it's in reverse. So you don't know who you are right now. And that's why there's a real big need for you to, figure out, what do you want? What matters? Right? So because there's some real confusion around who you are and what you want and what matters to you. That's what's blocking you right now. It's interesting that the Nine of Swords comes up here, and it's in reverse, but the Nine of Swords talks about this individual that is, waking up at night. Maybe this is you, where maybe you're waking up at all hours of the night or certain hours of the night. You're not getting a lot of sleep. There's like, maybe you have some nightmares. It's just, to me, this says that there's a memory around this. To me, this has become my memory card, a memory surfacing. Whenever my sleep is incredibly interrupted, and it does it, often, it's done, in the last 9 years of healing for sure. I know that there's a memory, there's something stirring here that I need to know, but that's blocked. Everything seems to be blocked with you, like shut down. Like I said, that word denial has come up quite a bit. And so there's something here that needs to make itself known to you. And then you've got the Queen of Swords behind that memory coming up. And here she is, the Queen. The Queen is the feminine side to us. We all have a masculine and a feminine side. And the point of this journey, of the hero's journey, the fool's journey, is to bring those two sides into balance, right? We talked about the Justice card and bringing things into balance in your life. And I think, we're needing here to bring this feminine side out, because you're up, like I said, in your head spinning a lot. But she has that sword as well. I want to say to you that you've got the Queen with the single sword. You've got the Ace with the sword. You've got the Justice card with the sword. You have 3 cards already. 3 cards that have that single sword in their hand, which is the sword of truth, your truth, who you are. We talked about Aries being the sign of I am, right? Of coming out going, I know who I am. I'm going to show the world who I am. And there's a real call for you to bring that awareness in the forefront now. And this is the feminine. She's all about authenticity. It's a feminine trait, feminine quality, that you need to get to your authenticity, who you are, what matters to you. I'm going to keep repeating those things, because sometimes I know me, I need things repeated. And so what do you need to heal so that you can finally figure out what matters to you? What do you need to heal? Well, the first card is the Death card. So now we're going to go into your shadow. This is the unconscious. This is the stuff that's making you get up in the middle of the night, right? And what's coming up for healing here? This is the Death card. And this card talks about things that need to go. And this is from your childhood. Things that needed to go. Things that no longer served you. I feel like this is probably, it's very rare that I find this in the shadow. And so I'm wondering here if you were let go, like somebody abandoned you, for example. Because you're being asked, I'm wondering if this is about a relationship where you're being asked to let something go. And I think there's been something in your life where, around you being let go, maybe you being forgotten or abandoned, something like that. Somebody walking away. This is a card about walking away. It's a card about sometimes going no contact with people. And so is there something like that in your childhood or your adolescence where that happened to you? Because if that's true, this is why you're almost like you're in a frozen state right now with your emotions, where maybe you're being asked to walk away from something or someone and to make that next step for yourself. But this is all bringing up from childhood what happened to you when you were let go. Because this Six of Pentacles comes right underneath it. You have the beggar here, that's these 2 beggars, And this individual that has that balance, there's that balance there, right? And he's balancing out. You have so the balance scale, this is the second time the scales come out for you, bringing that balance here. So the balance scale comes out here because he's weighing, well, if this beggar says, I'm worth 3 pentacles, he's going to weigh those out. Had he said, I think I'm worth 6 pentacles, he would have given them. We'd have weighed out 6 pentacles. So this card speaks about, very loudly about self-worth. And that's where your self-worth was lost. When you, I mean, if somebody walks away from you when you're young, you don't feel like you matter. And so for you to sit here and the universe is saying, okay, what do you want? What matters to you most? Well, if you're feeling like a piece of crap and that's how you felt all your life because that's what happened to you when you're younger, how are you supposed to put yourself first? And that's what the universe is saying. It's time for you to put yourself first now. Well, that's really hard because this is bringing up so much from your childhood when you didn't matter. And the next card that comes out is in a sideways position is this knight. And the knight is a freedom fighter for me. It's an adolescent part that wants their freedom, He's got the cup of love. So he wants freedom to be able to love. He wants freedom to be able to have authentic relationships. Well, that kind of turned on you, I think. So when you were younger, I think you really had you lost that ability or that freedom to be able to experience authentic relationships when you were told when you were younger you didn't matter. And so this whole reading is about, yeah, you do matter. And yeah, you're an adult now. And yeah, you can make things different. You can change this. But you gotta heal. You gotta heal what happened to you when you were younger. When you were told you didn't matter. And that's what you gotta heal. And then you're going to be able to make that next step. And so what's the advice from the tarot, Pisces? Well, you get the High Priestess card. And the High Priestess card says, it's the big major arcana card. It's the first half of the feminine archetype card. So as I said to you, there seems to be a real pull for you to go into the feminine side of you, the emotional side, the authenticity. Excuse me, this is the other quality that's going to come out for you right now that needs for you to come out is your inner guidance, your inner knowing. You have all the answers in you. This is the intuition. High Priestess is very intuitive. And so intuition is something that we all have. But here's the thing about intuition. And that's why you're lacking it right now. Is because you're not in your body. You have to be in your body. That's the feminine side to you. You have to be in your body to be able to access your inner knowing, right? But right now it's all really shut down because you're up in your head and you're spinning up there. And so the universe says, well, it's time for you to get in touch with your inner knowing. And it wants you to go inwards, and because you have the Strength card right here. But the next one that comes out is this Two of Pentacles that's in sideways here. We talked about the Seven of Cups at the beginning, saying that this was the card of dissociation, right? This was the card of you being up in your head and very confused about what's going on and dissociated. The Two of Pentacles is this juggler that's very ungrounded. Look at his feet. He's off balance. There's the balance word again that's come out for the third time now. He's off balance. He's ungrounded. Maybe you're a multitasker. This is an individual that's trying to multitask, juggle all kinds of things here. And so you're very like teeter-tottering, right? And in order, like I said, in order for you to get in touch with your intuition, you have to be in your body, which means you're going to need to become grounded, and so that you can go inwards to find your answers and get in touch with your intuition. Because here's a Strength card for you. This reading is beautiful because it ends with the Strength card. And the Strength card is not about physical strength. Look at her. It looks like she has a lot of physical strength, but she has the strength, and the strength that you need is the strength to go inwards. And that's what the strength card is. It's the strength to go inwards. It's the strength to open up that Pandora's box and find all these emotions. And that's what's going to happen when you ground yourself. It's not something that's Zen, let me tell you. You're going to learn how to ground yourself. And what's going to come up is all these emotions that you have put away from your childhood because someone walked away from you. Someone told you that you didn't matter when you were younger. And those are the emotions you have to get to in order for you to finally get some clarity. Because when you get that clarity, that is you getting in touch with your intuition. So I'm going to leave you with a playlist on grounding. Teach you how to get back in your body so you can start to feel some of these emotions that you had to shut down when you were a child because they were too painful. And as a child, you just cannot feel these big emotions. It's just impossible. So I want you to have compassion for yourself for what you're working through, Pisces. This is a very difficult journey, but it's the most important journey of your life. So take care, and I'll talk soon. Bye.